Hi, hey, what's up? Hey, this is Joe D, and welcome to the. Whoops, let me pause this here. Welcome to the Friday Share a Beer for like the first time since. And the only reason I know this is because it popped up when I was making this show. So it ain't like I'm super smart because I'm not. But it was uh, February 22nd of this year, 2018, was the last official full time, meaning once every Friday, every week, we had a Friday Share Beer show. Had to cancel that because my schedule, my personal work schedule changed. So, my personal work schedule has changed once again, but I'm still not going to post a full time show because there have been some things changed in my um, uh, personal schedule again, if you will. So I don't want to like schedule a show again, and then the next thing I have to cancel it. So we'll just do like a pop up show every once in a while, and see if there's some interest and if some people want to pop in. There's a link in Google Plus. Okay, so if anybody wants to jump in, more than welcome to, as usual. There's a link in the chat, so if you want to click that link in the chat, more than welcome to jump in. In the meantime, I'll cover some beers, and I actually happen to still have the. Wait, let me see what's up here. Yeah, I still have the tags, not the tags. They're what tabs, the tabs from last Saturday's show. So we will, of course, continue to have our Share a Beer on Saturdays, which is tomorrow, 7 p.m. Eastern. Anybody want to tune in to that? That's the main show. Um, for those of you that haven't seen, I got this cool new gaming chair. I really dig it. What I like about it, it's got the nice little diamond stitching back there in the leather, and it's kind of cool to look at. Every time I walk into my office now and see it, it's kind of cool. What I like about it supports big boys. You know what I'm saying? Those of us that are real man size. But it reclines like the chair in your car. So you lift the lever here on this side, you're pulling it up and down, and then it reclines. So you can recline it to wherever you want. Woohoo! And what I like about it most is I noticed that most office chairs kind of lean back just a little bit. Like if this is your seat, they kind of lean back a little bit, which would annoy me. And if you've noticed and you've watched me over the years, you notice that I'll put a pillow back here sometimes because I just need that extra support. So what I like is that I can actually lean this back when I feel like leaning back and have it nice and straight up for those other days, which is actually most of the time. I'll spend quite a bit of time on the computer editing photos and not editing video too much, but sometimes. But I'll just be on the computer doing different things at my desk here for quite a while when I am here. So um, it's nice to be able to just have that support and to have a nice headrest too. So that makes that part great. So if you're interested in a gaming chair, that's what they're kind of tagged as, and they come in different colors. And let me just stand up so you can see this one proper. But that's what this one looks like. Let me lift it up a little bit. Whoops. Hold on a minute. My base just came off here. I don't know that that's supposed to happen. Um, I'm sure it'll be okay. I'm sure I don't think that's supposed to happen, but this one has like a built-in footrest and everything, you know what I'm saying? So it's all good. Yeah, no, okay, yeah, it still works okay. Well, that happened, right? Live on the air. So in any case, if you've been interested in one, I dig this one, man. I would advise getting one because it's comfortable, more comfortable. What's up, Zach? How you doing, bro?
How's it going?
I am. I decided to have a super last minute pop up sort of Friday share a beer.
Yeah,
Oh,
I
it
saw
still says 222 on there, doesn't it? Let me change that. Why does it still say that? Let me edit that out. It's supposed to have today's date. I changed it, but it didn't fix it, I guess. Let me see. It's because today's 6, not February 22nd. Today's June 22nd. Yeah, it's supposed to have gotten that, but it didn't, I guess. That's weird. Okay, it says all changes saved. Yeah. It's fixed there, but it's not going to show up right now, obviously. At least not
yeah.
my window that I'm looking at, but oh, Earth says he's going to be productive, quote unquote, while he's at work, and he's gonna watch slash listen. So, and yourself,
Like,
Zach, what's going on, brother?
not much, just doing some paperwork. The kids doing a lemonade stand today, so
Oh, really?
hanging out.
Right on. How many different kinds of lemonade? Just basic lemonade, and that's it, or?
Just the one with the vodka under the table, you know.
Yeah, that's yeah. That your nice everyday kids lemonade stand with the vodka and everything. I didn't know if
Yeah.
she was making possibly different like strawberry lemonade and maybe like I don't know.
No, it's only her. She just built the stand, so it's her second day kind of testing it out.
Oh, well, you know what? Maybe you can help me, man, because I got 3 beers here. Okay. I think they're all, yeah, they are all different breweries. Yeah, not crazy beers, but I got Odell Brewing. It's their seasonal Settle Down Brown. Okay,
Yeah.
got Belching Beaver, the peanut butter latte, and then the Modern Times, the Black House Modern Times Nitro. Um,
Sounds like
so
you're going dark.
yeah, going dark. I don't know, man. Is this latte? This I think this one's light though. This peanut butter latte, I think this one's light. I think this is oh no, it is a milk
Oh,
stout.
the settle down's pretty good.
It's
Um,
yeah, I guess it does say it's a peanut butter. But look how clear that sucker. Well, it's in a dark bottle, but man, it looks clear as hell from here. Like I can see right through this damn thing.
you should probably just open it up and see what happens.
Right. Well, my question was, I've got the share beer glass, but I also got this nice fancy long stemmed. What do you call these glasses?
Oh, I don't. Expensive?
Expensive, yeah. The style though, I think it starts with a T. But in any case, I was like, which beer should I put in the pinky out glass? It's probably the latte, right?
I would say modern times. That's probably the fanciest one.
Yeah, probably the fanciest. Yeah, because this one's coffee, coconut, and cocoa. I'd rather just say cocoa. For best results, pour hard. I don't know. I think I better go full for the nitro. You know what I'm saying? Because
There you go.
you're supposed to pour those hard. We'll
Yeah.
crack this one open. I'll save the fancy long stem glass for the latte. I think I answered my own question there. And then we'll go. It says pour hard. I like that. I like that when they give you specific instructions on how to actually pour.
Yeah. I've got this new. It's a hop tea.
Oh, you know what? I think I've been
It's this.
hearing about hop teas. I think
It's this new company out here. I think they're in like Arvada or something. It's called Hoplark. This one's called Hoplark. Um, and it's called the green tea one. Um, yeah, it's made in Boulder. So it's a carbonated tea.
uh-huh.
And then they add hops to it. This one's got mosaic hops in it. So it's a green tea with mosaic hops.
And what's the company again, Zach?
Um, Hoplark. Hoplark. All one word.
All one word. Oh, okay.
It's actually really good, if you just like hops, and
Yeah, yeah.
sometimes you can't have that. You've got to stay sober or whatever for
Mm,
work, but you want something that kind of tastes like it.
right. This is interesting. So it's not a beer, that's for sure, because it says tea right on the.
Nope, it's just a tea.
And so it's your traditional green tea taste. Uh, this is interesting, isn't it?
Yeah, it's actually really good.
Holy F me in the butt. Is one can $10?
That's not what I got. Four of them for 50, or four for 15,
Okay.
and they're 16 ounce. Yeah, on the website, I bet they're more expensive.
Yeah, probably because it's
But yeah,
probably
I got 10. Let's see. Yeah, so I got 8 cans for $30.
8 cans for $30. Okay.
But that was at a local farmer's market. Um, the one I'm drinking is the green tea. Um, they also have like a chamomile one that I had that was really good. Um, so yeah, it's something different.
It is. Yeah, this is okay. $30 for 12 packs, 16-ounce cans. So you got this one here is the sparkling hot tea, and then they got oh, this one says the kind of hop,
Yeah,
the kind of hoppy one, sparkling hot tea, and then you've got the green tea one.
yeah. There's like a one that's like a black tea, one's a chamomile, one's a green tea, and then they had like an experimental one too.
Oh, here you go. Yeah, this is a a really hoppy one. It says the really hoppy one. It looks like it's Centennial, Simcoe, and Citra. Yeah,
Yeah,
this is the black tea. Yeah,
and then the
it's black.
chamomile was done with the lemon hop.
I wish they would get okay. So the green tea one is mosaic mixed with green tea. I wish
Yeah,
they would do a slightly better job at the descriptions, but
yeah, they
I'm
definitely
sure they'll do the better job here in the
a little
future.
better website. Yeah, he said they were about a month old.
Yeah, so that it's just gonna take them some time. And then the kind of hoppy one is Centennial, Simcoe, and Citra. Probably just the IBUs are probably just
Yeah,
much lower on it.
but it's nice to have something that's not,
Yeah, it is.
if you just want that drink or whatever.
When I did a search on hop tea, because I knew I had heard of it before, but when I did a search on it, you get like how to brew it and everything. So how to make hot tea with your
Yeah,
kegerator. Uh, I knew I had heard that before when I was, researching, different beer topics and stuff like that. I remembered hearing it, but yeah, that's cool, man. Thanks. I wonder. Let me see. Let me see. Let me go to uh, Untapped. I want to check out Untapped and see if they have. Uh,
you never know.
you never know, man, what Untapped has
They
in
have
here
some
anymore.
weird stuff on there.
Let's see. Hop. Let's see. Hop tea. I'm just gonna do a search on hop tea. Hop freak. Hop teacher. Hop for teacher pale ale. Nah, they're not. Yeah, they're not.
Yeah, because so I like this, but I don't like the kombuchas. I don't really like the kombucha stuff.
Kombucha. What is kombucha?
It's like a fermented tea, um, but it's a lot sweeter.
Let me do a search on this beer right now, the Modern Times.
I heard you talking about breakfast today, and I was like, oh man,
Yeah, I could actually even show you a picture of my breakfast. I did take a picture of it. I'll uh I'll put it up here on the screen here in a second so you can see what my breakfast looked like. Um, yeah, let me put this picture over here and then I'll pull it up. Yeah, because I was really proud of my breakfast. It was so good. Nothing super crazy, but just tasty. You know what I'm saying? Just one of them super tasty deals there. So this was my breakfast, and it was um, bratwurst that I had
yeah,
made in one of my smaller cast iron pans in the oven. So I took the brats, put them in the oven whole, and then at 350 Fahrenheit, I put them in the oven for about 20 minutes, and then pulled them out. And in my bigger cast iron pan, um, sliced them open inside there, so all the juices came out in the pan. And then open faced fried them like this, got a nice crust going on them, and then sliced the potatoes like this, fried those up and all of that, and got a nice crust on those. Couple over medium eggs in the same cast iron pan, nice and seasoned as you can tell, and
yeah,
just everything basic, basically sausage with eggs and potatoes, nothing super crazy, but
just missing the
super
green chili.
super tasty. I was missing green chili, but I do have green chili, and I thought about it, and I was like, yeah, I'm gonna just go basic salsa. So I did put some basic salsa on it,
Yeah,
but
yeah, I heard you talking about Sadie's. And I laughed because I went to that place too, and it was like, it's not bad food,
yeah,
but it's not like the best food around.
yeah, it was more of a touristy place, you know.
Oh yeah, super touristy,
Yeah.
but the portions are huge.
That's what I was telling. I was like, the portions were crazy big. So it was just like, you just can't go there and get something small. I mean, the smallest thing they're going to have is chips and salsa before the meal. It's like, so we would go there every once in a while on our own, without having company sort of thing. But yeah, when company came, people would come here and literally like want to go to Sadie's, you know what I'm saying? Which is fine, like you said, it's not horrible. There it's not like the best New Mexican food you can ever have either, but it's not horrible. Let me type in this Modern Times beer. But yeah, it is kind of funny to be having breakfast and thinking about beer already. You know what I'm saying? You're like, I got some good beers. You know what I'm saying? But that's how it is, huh, Zach?
It's the weekend, right?
It's my weekend. Yeah, that's all I care about. Yeah, that's to be quite frankly, yeah, it's my damn weekend. Yeah. So before I crack this beer, I'll show it for anybody else that hasn't seen or know about it. Uh, the Black House from Modern Times beer. This is the oatmeal stout. 84,000 ratings on here, 684 in the last 30 days, 5.8% ABV, 40 IBUs, a 393. I didn't expect that. I thought it might be a little lower, but a 393, damn, that's almost a 4. This is fantastic, man. For that many ratings, too. So you're supposed to have big coffee. I haven't had this in a while, so better get some coconut in there, and I better get some chocolate in there, right? With the coca in there. So
Oh,
we'll see, man. Let me just get to pouring this bad boy so we can check it out. And I like here on right here on the can they give more of a breakdown of what's in the beer. You know, Zach, what is the SRM, the black? Because they give that a rating of 90. So I would assume that's like the transparency of the beer, like how, how
Yeah,
dark it actually is.
yeah. It's let's see, what is it? I thought it gets pretty dark at like 50.
At 50. Okay, so I would assume it's like 100 is maybe the top.
Let me see. What does it go to? My chart goes up to 40, and 40's like black.
So they give this one a 90. So it's got 90 right on the back of the can there. And it's got 40 IBUs, and the final gravity is a 1.019. But we talked
Wow.
about the ABV being a 5.8.
Yeah, so this
Um,
is like Imperial Stout 50 to 80.
oh, okay.
So it must just be extra.
Extra, right. What I love too is the breakdown that Modern Times put on here. And by the way, Modern Times is out of San Diego. This is another one of those fantastic. San Diego is just like Denver as far as just tons of breweries in a small area. And San Diego's just turning into a nice beer town, really,
Yeah,
or turned into a nice beer town.
yeah.
There's people from here that go on to San Diego because you're only talking, 5, 6 hours. Um, anyway, but they give a nice breakdown on the coffee. I love that. I've been begging for that from breweries now, because if you call it, okay, there's coffee, coca, and coconut in there. Well, what kind of coffee? You know how many different kinds of coffee there are? It's like saying, "Oh, I'm having a beer."
Yeah, that's
Hello,
pretty cool.
it's pretty generic. So it's 75% Ethiopia, Hambella, right? And then 25% Sumatra, Manhattan, Mahandling or something like that. I can't quite pronounce all that. And then it gives a breakdown on the malts and everything. I'm pretty much good on that. Dude, there's a ton of malt in this thing. So, but I love that they broke down that coffee, because
Yeah, that's
uh,
pretty cool.
that's pretty cool. Exactly. Um, anything else on here? Let me see. No, nothing. I mean, if they're going that far, you could almost give a breakdown on the coconut as well, and the coca, right? Because those are kind of specific to certain regions as well.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah. We list when we do a chocolate beer. We list where the chocolate's from.
and then finally they say pour hard. So I gave that a good pour. Um, I don't know how long I've had this. Okay, it was canned on January 31st, 2017.
Over a year.
So I've had this beer for a little bit. So we're not going to give it a hardcore review, but let me do the old tappa here, because Earth may not be on video, but he already said he's watching, so we want to make sure we represent. Look how black that sucker is, man. Look at that thing. You can see my screen. It's basically like a black mirror.
Yeah, that's pretty dark.
I'm still getting tons of it does have tons of coffee still. And not just like, it smells like the roasted coffee beans. Like that smell. You know how real.
Okay, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Not just like brewed.
Yeah, not just like a
Perfectly
cup, right. Not
brewed.
not a cup of hot brewed coffee. It smells like the coffee beans, like the roasted coffee beans when you have them in your hand, or
You
in the
like the?
bag.
Do you guys have the cold brewed? We have a place that does the nitro cold brew up here. It's so good. You just get this
Oh,
ice cold coffee on nitro.
oh man. Um cold brew is getting so popular. They even have self-serve cold brew in the truck stop, for Christ's sake. Like
Oh,
it's
really?
yeah, so like if you would like to make your own iced cold brew, they have it's no different than any other fountain thing in the truck stop. You know, when you go and you pour your own fountain drink or you pour your own coffee, like at any other gas station, if you will. That's the truck stop has a big thing too, full of cold brew, and you can self serve all you want. Pour your, to your heart's content. There, they'll charge you, but yeah, you can.
We've got Corvus Coffee up here. They roast all their own stuff.
Oh man, that's
They do
fantastic.
it's a cold brew on nitro, and you can either just get the regular, um, which is I think a coffee from Rwanda,
Uh-huh.
and then they have the hopped version. They use Cascade hops, and it's a hopped cold brew coffee.
Let me make sure to get to some of the. We have Tom's in the chat. Hey, what's up, Tom? And we have Hans in the chat. Hey, dudes. And Toxic Fan, Tankard. He says Tankard. We must have been talking about something earlier that referred to. Oh, that was the glass. Tankard. That's right. Yeah, I thought it was with a Tankard. Thanks, man. Appreciate it, Talks. And of course, we have TN Kenny in here, man. Hey, he says, hey, folks, coffee stout is his favorite style of beer. If you guys can get your hands on this Black House from Modern Times, this one's over a year old. As I told you earlier, there's the canned on date right there. In case you don't believe me for some reason, this is a year old. It's still fantastic. I'm not getting as much. I can't be too critical of it because it is over a year old. But the coffee is still there. It's still buttery smooth, like you would expect a nitro to be. And the coffee's big, and it's not, like I say, you're getting it more like you would the coffee bean taste, not brewed coffee taste. You're getting a taste that's similar to what you're smelling. You know what I'm saying? So not a brewed cup of coffee taste, but it's really good. I am getting some nice. What would you call it? More of a baker's chocolate, not a semi-sweet chocolate, more of a baker's sort of chocolate taste.
Right.
Which is nice and balanced, man. It's still very balanced. I'm not getting, it's over a year old. The coconut might have went by the wayside, but it's still solid, man. This thing is very good.
I bet that would go great with breakfast.
Yeah, I mean, actually, because everything was kind of really peppery. It probably would have actually went really well with breakfast. Wow, yeah, now
I just bought one of these. It's
you did
outdoor griddle, but it's a 36-inch griddle. Oh man, on Amazon, it's the best thing I've bought yet.
Wow, check that out. Here, I'll share this with everybody.
It's not a bad price.
It's not actually. This is, and you keep in mind, folks, this is the price right now.
I bought mine on a flash. You know how they do the flash deals?
Yeah.
I got it for $200 shipped.
Yeah, $200 shipped. Even $249, excuse me, $250 is not bad. You know what? Actually, for a lot of things we do, when you're grilling in the back, for a lot of things we do, having a grill actually would be better.
It's just, I have my big smoker, and I love my smoker, But I don't want to heat it up all the way and wait an hour for it to get hot enough to do burgers.
Right.
This thing heats up in 5 minutes, cooks hot. We've done Philly cheesesteaks on it. We've done kebabs, fried rice, omelets. We went to a breakfast party and they were doing French toast, uh, green chili French toast,
Ooh,
which
yeah.
was just amazing.
Yeah.
But they were doing all this shit on it, and it's like, yeah, why
This would
not?
be cool, man. This is a
We
cool
do our
one.
BLTs. You throw the bacon on, and toast your bread in the bacon grease, grill up your tomatoes.
So this one's propane fueled,
Yeah.
restaurant grade, professional quality, and it's restaurant style cooking. So you have 200 no, I'm sorry, 720 square inches of flat top grilling.
Oh yeah, it's big. And if you scroll down, like if you buy it together, they have like this. You can buy the longer spatulas. Yeah,
Yeah,
those
yeah, yeah.
spatulas, the scraper, and
Well,
all that shit. It's great.
well, here's the whole kit where you get pretty much
Yeah.
everything you're going to need. One of those covers, right, for when you're doing whatever. A chopping board. You get, like you said, the spatulas, and then a couple of containers for whatever water or oil or whatever you want to put in them. You get this nice scraper and a cover. I, yeah, I think that's pretty good, man. For 333.49. I don't know. I feel like I'm like Home Shopping Network for Christ's sake right now, but it's
I'm the same way.
but that is and look at the wheels on this thing. It looks like it wheels around really nice and easy. You've got
Oh
what,
yeah,
four nice big burners underneath there. You know what? For a
yeah.
lot, you know what? And there's a lot of well, like right here, right now, here, it's 111. Like you know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna be firing up my stove.
No,
You
I'm the
know what
same
I'm
way.
saying? And heating
We've
up
been
my
in the. We've had like it's nothing compared to down there, but it's been in the 90s almost all of June except for the last like 3 or 4 days.
yeah,
And it's hot. I don't want to use the damn stove.
right.
Really don't care for it anyways. If I can be outside, I'd rather cook outside anyway.
Yeah, see that. Well, even this morning when I fired it up, it was already in the high 90s.
Well, and what I liked about the griddle when I was making cheesesteaks, I could just put my cast iron pans on there too
Yep.
and put my cast iron on there, make up my cheese sauce
Oh, don't even get
or
me started on
dip.
cast iron. You know me, Zach. I love. Matter of fact, all my cookware is cast iron.
Yeah,
All my cookware is
I'm
cast iron.
converting. I'm getting most of mine converted over. I'm still kind of learning how to cook with cast iron
Yeah.
because it is different.
Yeah. There's a
Uh,
learning curve. What I
and
love
especially
about it.
for my generation was all about fucking cheapo, shitty, the non-stick pans.
Right. Right. Well, a lot of us were. You know what I'm saying? You go for what's convenient. You know what I'm saying? What we think is convenient. But the thing of it is, if you just put the time in with your cast iron, you're going to cook anyway, right? If you're cooking anyway, you put in the time with the cast iron, and before you know it, nothing sticks to it, man. I mean, it's like in no time
Yeah,
at all.
well, that's what I'm figuring out. If you get it seasoned well and
Yeah.
spend the time seasoning it, you're okay. I
It-
just put this is my next purchase, man. This thing's cool. It's a portable pellet-fed pizza oven.
oh, I've been checking those out. Now, I'm not that hardcore, I'll just admit, but I do admire it. I do admire those sorts of things. I'm
I
not.
love like having people over and just doing barbecues and drinking all
Yeah.
day.
I've actually seen the reviews on that particular stove
Yeah,
that you sent, that oven, and it's actually pretty good. Um,
yeah,
this
it
is
is cool.
this is the one that he's talking about now. a lot of people are into making pizza at home, and it's a fun thing to do for families, for kids, to get your kid, well, especially you and your daughter, to make
Oh yeah,
nice,
she
cool
loves
little
making them.
10-inch pizzas, you
Yep.
know, customize them with whatever you want and then play around with it. There's nothing better than that, man.
Oh no, it's good. You'll appreciate it. I had my daughter and my wife. They learned how to make tortillas this past weekend.
Oh, awesome. Yeah.
Homemade tortillas, the like making the dough and everything, doing
Yeah.
it the right way. So they made about 3 dozen of them. The first few were difficult, but there's nothing like a good fresh tortilla.
Oh, yeah. When they're fresh. Absolutely. Absolutely. Now, Neri's asking some questions. Now, well, first, let me get to craft beer tasting. Is says I've been into blending IPAs with plain Starbucks coffee lately. Um,
Yeah,
I have to admit I'm not a Starbucks guy. I'm just not. I
I
went.
need Starbucks.
I'm not a Starbucks guy. I'm just I tend to when I've bought stuff on Craigslist, that's kind of my go-to place to meet is a Starbucks. I rarely order anything. If I do, it's water because I don't know how to order in a Starbucks. I don't know how to order. Even when I went with Mark, Mark had to have a business meeting in Starbucks, and so when I went to Georgia. So I ordered one of those drinks that they have in the. I didn't even order it. I just, they have the drinks there, and I pulled one out, and here you go, dude. Because I don't know what to do. I see people walk up with their pinkies out already. Give me a grande. I don't know what they even say. I don't know what to do. I'm like, I don't know. But in any case, I think that's besides the point. But he's basically been mixing, blending IPAs with coffee is
Yeah,
is is his
I
larger
just
point.
found a guy that was doing at this farmers market. They're selling like uh, concentrated coffees and teas that you
Tea,
can just add bourbon to or whatever,
I
or
can see that.
bourbon rum. We got some of the. It's a
Bourbon, that threw me for a loop right there. Okay,
it's a
so
chai concentration. So it's concentrated chai tea, and then you just add some bourbon to it. Man, it's
yeah,
good.
really, okay, wow, all right.
I haven't had I think I've only had one or two coffee IPAs.
Now I'm still getting my head wrapped around coffee and IPA. I had a really good coffee IPA over there while I was in Atlanta. Can't think of the name of it right now, but if anybody's in my Untapped, you can look it up because I did log it. And it's hard to get your head around it because you're like, wait a minute, this is everything about the description was fine. You're like, okay, an imperial, all right, coffee, all right. You know what I'm saying? You're checking off all this list, and at the end, it was like IPA. You're like, whoa, 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 whoa. Wait a minute.
Yeah,
Wait a minute. But what was crazy about that particular brew was it checked off all the things you expect from each particular deal. Like if it was a stout, if it was a coffee stout like this one is, you're like, okay, give me the nice big bold coffee taste. I want that. Maybe a little chocolate, maybe. Um, and then in an IPA, I want maybe some citrus, depending on what they're doing with the IPA. A little grassy, a little bittery. You know what I'm saying? All these sorts of things, and that brew did it all. It was insane to have a double and to have it be an IPA and a coffee at the same time was crazy. It blew my mind. It was really good. Fantastic job. Fantastic.
yeah. Well, and some coffee, it's picking the right coffee. Some coffee can be real fruity. Some of it can be
Yeah,
kind of spicy.
absolutely.
So, and then there's some. I mean, I like a real dark, bold, earthy tobacco leather peppery. I like that kind of coffee more
Mhm.
than. Um, I mean, I have some. There's a place in town. Their coffee beans, however they roast them or whatever, it's got like this blueberry note to it,
Blueberry,
and
huh?
and I just don't. I don't care for blueberries, but it's cool. I mean, next time you're in town, I'll take you by Pablo's Coffee
Oh, you know what? I'm glad you mentioned that, Zach, because we are planning to go to that audio show
Audio.
in October.
Oh, I didn't even know there was one.
There's so much going on in Denver. Are you kidding me?
Well,
It's
GIBF is September 20th through the 22nd.
right. GABF is, I think, a little earlier this year or something, right?
It's like 2 weeks earlier.
Yeah.
So speaking of that, we just started all the shit for it.
Isn't that
I
crazy?
just started registration and stuff. So,
That's crazy. I mean,
and
it's
they're adding, believe this, they're adding another 100,000 square feet.
okay. The, how big is it already? How big is it?
It's huge. But now, so there's two new areas. There's going to be a section just for barrel aged beer.
Oh, that's going to be nuts. So you're going to have
And
big.
then
You're going to have just a section for basically big beers.
Jameson has their own little section. Jameson Irish whiskey
Oh no.
has paired up. No, they're not serving any whiskey, but they have a
Quote
deal.
unquote, quote unquote, they're not serving any whiskey,
Yeah,
quote, but there's
Great
going to be
Goodbye.
plenty of it in the beer.
So they have been doing the thing of Jameson, the cask mate series,
Mm,
where it's IPA whiskeys or stout
mhm.
barrel whiskey. Well, they've paired up with 40 breweries, I believe, and those are the only 40 breweries getting Jameson barrels. And all of those barrels will be available right there.
Oh man, that's going to be an interesting deal, isn't it?
It's it's almost becoming too big.
It's big. For anybody that hasn't been to GABF. We went last year. I recommend going once. Um, I recommend it. It was you have what 4 hour sessions, Zach?
Yeah,
So you basically have 4 hour sessions that you can go each day. I would recommend going once to one session. I think after one 4 hour session, I think you're pretty much good. I know I am. I'm good. And Zach for years told us, you know what? No matter what you do, even if you don't go, just come and
just
explore
being
around and just be in Denver during GABF. There's so much going on. 100% accurate, 110% accurate. There was, heck, we even found a concert for Christ's sake. I mean,
yeah, Georgia
there was
Tech.
multiple beer fests going on during GABF in Denver. It was insane.
It's but I mean, can you imagine how much bigger it's going to be? It says
I can't.
they're going to add 4,000 more beers,
That's crazy.
100,000 more square feet.
I can't.
Yeah,
I,
it's
I can't. I just can't picture it. I really can't. It's big.
it's
The
gotten to
four
the
of
point
us.
though. I don't think 4 sessions is enough to. If you're going to make it that big, they need to expand it out because it sells out in what, like 20 minutes.
Yeah,
So open it up to do a Wednesday night session, do a Thursday day and night. I think it should have 6 sessions.
yeah, yeah.
Um, People will go, but I like just getting out of it. It's fun to go to one of the sessions for a while. But like last year, I called you guys and I was like, "Yeah, I'm done. Wherever you guys are, I'll just come meet up with you."
Yeah.
And then we took a little walking tour through the city.
And you were in it. Your brewery was in GABF and you were done. You're like,
Oh
yeah,
yeah,
I'm good.
most of us are. I mean, because it starts. We typically that weekend we had started stuff on the Friday before.
Hmm.
that there was like some sort of fest the Friday before, then Saturday, then we had something on Sunday, then Monday's the big kickoff party at Falling Rock, and then so I mean you're going all day, sun up to sundown, or sun up to sun up, and just drinking. By the time GABF's done, I come home and I have a Gatorade and a salad.
I'm trying to let me see.
Yeah, so what's the auto show?
Yeah, it's the Rocky Mountain Audio Fest.
Audio, huh?
Yeah, and well, Mark's already kind of a little ahead of me as far as I don't know that either one of us is a super hardcore audiophile, but definitely have the bug. You know what I'm saying, sort of thing. Um,
I'm getting more into it.
I'm
The more that
definitely
the older that I get, the more that I just figure out like, why not just put money into being at your house and making your house where you spend one of speed
yeah,
time
yeah,
rather than going out. It's I'm trying to get the whole outdoor kitchen thing finished up.
yeah,
I really want to do what you've done and kind of work on the smart house
yeah, yeah. It's it is nice to be able to check on your house from wherever you're at. It's kind of nice to know that it's just doing what it's supposed to be doing. You know what I'm saying? But uh, you're right though. I think the trend is heading that way. I became a cord cutter now 4 years ago, and I am if it, I'm trying to put it in a way that people can understand. I think cord cutting is at different levels. Some people call themselves a cord cutter, but they still have cable, they still have satellite. You know what I'm saying? That sort of thing.
thing.
I'm as hardcore, I think, a cord cutter as a cord cutter could get. You know what I'm saying? I consider myself like, I don't know, how there's all these different stages of being a vegetarian now. I don't know what they all are, but they're,
You're a vegan,
yeah, I would be a vegan and cord cutting. Yeah, I would be one of those super hardcore. You know what I'm saying?
so I don't really even understand what cord cutting is.
I'm definitely. I literally don't watch. The only live TV I watch is sports, and I'm not. I mean, I don't. I
And do you
don't.
stream that then, or use a
When I do
stream?
watch it, I stream it. Yeah,
So is
I
that like through Hulu, or who has the NFL or?
okay, the over the air service that I do have, the live streaming service rather that I do have is DirecTV Now.
Okay,
And the reason I have it, the reason I keep it is because I was one of the I'm also one of those early adopting people. So I adopted it within the first 3 months of it starting. When you did that, you got this introductory price and they promised to keep that price $35 for that 100 channel package, and they keep adding channels to that package and adding stuff to it,
so
and it's been the best $35 I've spent ever. As a matter of fact, it's gone down recently. They quit charging me tax. It used to be 37.50 ish, something like that with tax, and now it's just a straight $35. So it's actually
okay.
gone down for me.
So does that include like your local channel?
Yeah, it includes local channels, and now that DirecTV Now actually includes a DVR function, it's almost hands down the best streaming service out there.
I've been using Roku for a year,
Yeah, Roku. Yeah, you could put it on your Roku, sure.
um, and that's been pretty good. But the more I look into some other stuff, the thing with the cord cutting seems to be streamlining everything
Yeah,
and making sure everything can work together
yeah.
almost. So I don't know. I've looked into the Amazon Fire Stick or whatever.
Well, that's a different box. If you're happy with your Roku, I would stay with your Roku.
Yeah,
There's Mark uses the Amazon Fire, which is fine. Amazon is fine. There's nothing, however, whatever device you choose, it's like talking about, Vizio TV compared to a Sony TV compared to, it's all TV. You're going to get your television, right?
Yeah.
It's just, whether you use a Roku, I'm an Apple guy, so of course I have Apple TVs. But however you choose to do that is your personal preference. Roku, I would stick with, actually, if you're happy with it. The reason why is because if you're if you're becoming an audiophile, or you might get to that on the audio portion, you're going to be okay. If you're going to start getting into home theater, is where they separate. And in me being an Apple guy, I love my Apple TV, but it's not as good as audio as some of them.
So
The
yeah,
other,
so I have the big surround sound and all. It's 5 speaker plus a subwoofer
right,
in my living room. They're
okay,
all cut into the ceiling, and then there's the receiver and
right,
all
okay.
that stuff. So I
What?
mean, I get into it. I haven't done it in years, so I was more into it when I was younger.
Well, that's me. I'm getting back into it, and so once you start getting into the details of the what separates these different devices is the audio. A lot of them have really good, high quality 4K streaming. You can get that done with the Apple TV, with the Fire, Amazon Fire, or with the Roku, or there's other smaller name streaming devices that get the video portion done very well. You can get that part done. It's the audio that separates all of them. Right now, and all they really need to do is send an update. But Apple TV, the 4K Apple TV, has not done really good audio just yet. Now, if you're an audiophile and you're listening to regular 2-channel stereo audio, you'll probably be fine. Um, but what I have noticed is that it's still not quite as good. You know what I'm saying? As some of the other streaming devices for audio. If you start getting into a home theater, yeah, forget about it. Until Apple updates the Apple TV, with better audio streaming, it's just not going to compare to some of the other ones. It only streams at 5.1. So if you're anything above 5.1, you're just not going to get what you really want. There's plenty of devices that stream higher.
Yeah.
So,
Well, I want to get into. I know you use Alexa, right?
oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
Well, careful, we can't say your name too loud.
Yeah, well,
Um,
that's on them. If you haven't set your Echo device to recognize your voice, then shame on you.
so I want to get one of those, but then what they recommend putting, what, maybe one in the bedroom, one in your kitchen, one in your living room,
Sure. Yeah.
or if you're gonna move it around. But then I want to be able to be. I want to put speakers out on my back deck, on the front patio, and possibly in the garage.
Mhm.
Um, so I want to be able to control and be like, Alexa, turn on music on the patio.
Sure.
Um, Alexa, make me a list of blah 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 groceries or whatever. But I would like to link my security system into all that, link the lights into it. I know
Mhm.
you're using the lights, um, and kind of get to where the whole house is like
That part is really nice. Um, that I can tell you on the audio portion, your uh, your hi-fi, your receiver, your home theater receiver can handle a lot of that, and a lot of your home
that. Oh
theater receivers have Alexa built in, and Google Home. Some people actually, once they try Google Home, really prefer Google Home. So,
yeah, my phone has the Google Assist on it.
uh huh.
I don't know. I fight with it quite a bit.
You'll fight with all of them. Tell you the truth,
Yeah.
they all have their quirks, and they all have their
Okay,
strengths and
Google.
weaknesses.
Oh, it worked. Of course. Now that I talk shit about it, it works.
Right.
Usually I'm like screaming at my phone and
Yeah, I happen to have all three of them. And I'm built into the Apple ecosystem, so
yeah.
I use Siri for for certain things. I use Siri. For most things, I use the Echo, which is the Amazon devices, and for very, very, very little, I use Google, but only because I'm in the Apple ecosystem. You know what I'm saying? So it makes sense for me personally to stick more to Siri or to Amazon. To Alexa.
I'm
Uh,
waiting. How long do you think before Amazon has their own phone? That Amazon produces their own cell phone. There's the Google phone, there's the
right.
Apple.
They already tried.
Yeah. Well, did they?
Yeah, it was a huge fail. Yeah.
Because that would be, to me, that's kind of the next step for them, isn't it?
Well, you had ESPN, you had Facebook, and you had Amazon. All tried their own phones, and they all went away very quickly.
Yeah.
They all realized they could get a lot farther with apps, just putting themselves on all platforms.
I
Uh,
use the Pixel 2 XL, and I love my phone. It's
mhm.
one of the best phones I've had so far. But I can't figure. The wife has an iPhone, and I can't use that thing to save my life. But I know
That,
some people swear by it. Then she gets on my phone, and it's like I can't use your phone.
yeah, that's the way that is. Yeah. People, I think, that are used to Android are like all the options. They like the option to do this, that, and the
See,
other.
I've always been a PC guy, where I couldn't ever figure out the Macs or.
Yeah.
And I'm old enough to remember when Apple was really, their computers. I remember when elementary school they got the brand new, big old. They looked like an egg almost. Mac computer desktop thing.
Yeah.
They looked
The
like the big
iMac.
eggs.
Yeah.
And no, they weren't iMacs. They were because it was a desktop.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It was yeah, that yeah, I know what you're talking about though,
But
because
I could never use those. I was like, man, PCs just work easier for me.
yeah, we had like a powder blue one, if I remember right. It was that all-in-one Mac. Can't think of the name of it right now, but yeah, I know what you're talking about. Um, but real quick, let me turn this around and get back to the Rocky Mountain Audio Fest, which is October 5th through the 7th. So sometime that weekend, which is that first weekend in October, I was definitely planning on coming, and I think Mark's definitely planning on going.
I'll
Um,
probably be here.
yeah. So yeah, we wanted to hit you up and let you know we'll probably be there that weekend. So if you're
Yep.
there, that'd be cool to hang out for a while.
Yeah, we'll be around. We should have the chili beer on tap. So the Hatch Chili Amber will be on tap.
Ooh, yeah.
With some good fall beers. Um, there'll be some. We'll hit up some breweries. There's a couple of new cool places by downtown.
I
It'll,
definitely want to spend some time hanging out in your brewery this time. I didn't get to do that. And so personally, I want to see your brewery. I told Mark, it is as much of the bug on audio that I have managed to receive.
yeah.
Um, some of these audio fests, I'm a little leery about. So
Well, I might. I'll have to talk to you guys on the side. I might be interested in going to the fest with you.
yeah, it's what I've never been to an audio fest. Let me get that out there. But I watch more YouTube than I care to admit. I
Yeah,
watch YouTube is like everything for me. For years already, it's been that way. But I watch a lot. So anyway, I have seen a lot of these audio fests on different ones, not just the Rocky Mountain, but different ones on YouTube because it's a lot like the auto shows. It they tour around and they go to different cities around the world, and there's certain shows in certain cities around the world that are bigger ones or smaller, but they kind of specialize in one particular thing. Um, so there's one that happened in Germany not too long ago, and that's where I guess the big time snobby sort of real pinky out stuff comes. And so they were showing off we're talking 2 channel audio, folks. We're talking like 2 speakers, an amp, a preamp. We're not talking like a lot of equipment, and you're talking $1 million setups.
yeah,
Like, I can't get that across to folks. Like, they consider low end gear anything under $5,000. That's considered budget gear.
yeah. And me, I'm looking for the thing that's like, oh, what's on sale for $40?
Yeah, yeah, you know what I'm saying? So it's like when you think you're doing something, buying speakers that cost 2 grand a piece, they're like, oh yeah, that's nice low end gear.
I was really,
And you saved your ass off to get those $4,000
I
speakers.
was really into car audio when I was in high school. I did the whole car audio stuff.
Hmm.
That was a lot of fun. Well, I remember, oh, a good subwoofer was going to cost you at that time. It was 600, $700 for
Hmm.
this crazy subwoofer or whatever.
Hmm.
Now I have the van that we use. And it's got the 23-inch flat screen TV in it. The kids love it because like when we came down by you,
Uh-huh.
that makes the car ride a lot easier with a
Oh
kid
yeah.
if you
Oh
can just
yeah.
be like, all right, halfway, like 6, 7 hours. All that is like 3 movies.
Hmm.
So it's been good for that. And I'd like to get into it more, but yeah, it's so expensive.
So what I'm looking forward to with the fest is they typically, set up in a hotel, and they'll use the different rooms in a hotel for different manufacturers, and different manufacturers will take up so many different rooms and set up 2 channel audio in each room so you can get a different experience in each room. It's typically how I've been seeing how it goes. So it'd be a cool chance to see some of this super high end audio that you just normally wouldn't get to see or hear. Um,
Yeah,
and
I'm looking to see where it's going to be. Let's see.
I think Mark said it's kind of not
Okay,
too.
so it's going to be at the Marriott in the Tech Center. Okay.
Yeah. So, I told Mark, I think I'll, kind of go to one day. I don't see these things selling out. So I'm kind of like, I'll just kind of walk up and buy a ticket. I don't know. I'm not really that worried about it. You know what I'm saying? I don't think
Well,
these are kind of like sold out events like Comic Con or anything like that. You know what I'm saying? I don't think
yeah,
there's
Comic Con. So Denver does really weird shit, and it was Comic Con, Gay Pride, and Father's Day all on the same weekend.
whoa.
Yeah, shit gets weird, man.
So well, I take a lot of pride too. I'm very proud. I am a lesbian, in case anybody didn't know.
Yep.
I do I like women just as much as any other woman does. You know what I'm saying? I identify as a woman.
Yeah.
So I do consider myself, of the Lebanese,
Well,
so I
that's what the B cups are for, right?
that's right. So yeah,
That's why I got to keep up. I'm on a decent diet and stuff, but I can't cut down on too many tacos because if I start losing my little A and B cups, then I'm just losing my figure.
oh yeah, well, if you're only up to 8 cups, then please. Please. I've been working on C's now, baby. There's people on YouTube telling you how to get rid of man boobs. We tell you how to keep them and make. We're trying to keep you in shape. Now, all those other folks are trying to get you in shape. Round is a shape, people. Round is a shape.
Yep.
Hello.
But it says here that for the Audio Fest, on-site registration will be available half an hour before show opens, um, and tickets are purchased with cash or check only.
Okay.
But it says like a 1 day pass is $20, 2 day
Yeah.
pass $30, 3 day
Yeah.
pass $40.
Yeah. I can see myself just like GABF going to 1 day and being okay after a few hours of
Yeah,
sitting there listening to, I think once you hear, 4 or 5 different systems, and keep in mind of the type of people that get into this stuff,
yeah,
it's a different it's a different crowd, right? So how much of that combined with that and that can you take?
they
You know
have
what I'm saying? So,
they have a entry level rooms, which is high end prices or high end at fair prices. Complete systems at $500, $1,000, $1,500, $2,500, and $5,000 price points.
oh,
So
there you
something
go.
kind of for everybody.
That's
The
good.
innovative room sounds pretty interesting. Those are a little bit more, I guess.
It does seem like it. I do want to check one out. You know what I'm saying? I do want to check one out.
Yeah.
I
Well,
do want to hear some of this high end gear. I want to hear some of this stuff that I can't afford. You know what I'm saying? I want to hear. Can I hear a difference? You know,
yeah,
I'm really into clips. I love clip speakers. I've loved clips for over 20 years. You know what I'm saying? Hell, like, my
yeah,
my almost 30-year-old speakers are clips. You know what I'm saying? Speakers. I love that speaker maker. Everything they do, I buy. The new ones I bought are clips. Again, like I want to see if I can tell a difference. And I know clips aren't the best, but they're the best that I can afford. And I know that B&W has some what they consider an affordable brand, an affordable line, which is still aspirational to me. You know what I'm saying? But I want to see if I can hear the difference between you know these sub $5,000 a pair speakers and speakers that are worth well over 10 grand. You know, I just
yeah,
want to see if I can hear it. What you know, show my one of my big things is when it comes into the actual not just the speakers but the actual amps, and some of these cats talk about you can hear the difference in the wires. And okay, show me. You know what I'm saying? I want to
yeah. Right.
because that'll make any flipping sense to me. I mean, I have good cables right now, but some of these cats have cables that are literally this thick. I mean, they're
Yeah,
literally fire hose size, and they're like, oh, these are pure silver and blah 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 and fiber optic and what? So it's just like, okay, I want someone show me, like, let me hear it, you know.
yeah,
Um,
definitely. How's
but
that beer coming along?
yeah, so let me answer Neri's question really quick if he's even still there. But he said he can't log on today, but will be present on the next Friday pop up. Yeah, he says that every time. What's up with Neri, man? He says he can't get on today. Like that's his standard answer now.
Yeah,
But any case, when we were talking about cast iron, he says, "Do you oil cast iron after usage? We put some olive oil on it afterwards." Absolutely, yeah.
yeah.
It's not a must. You don't necessarily once you've got that good patella. What do they call it? Patella. You know the black coating. Did they call it patella? Anyway,
Yeah.
once you got that good black seasoning going, um, you don't necessarily have to. You'll notice that I think the longer you keep your cast iron, like you'll kind of tend to sometimes you do it and sometimes you don't as far as oiling
Yeah.
afterwards. I have a pan that's been sitting there for weeks and I hadn't done it until today. Uh, but it is a good idea too. It's not, I personally take some Crisco. I have I don't necessarily cook with Crisco, but I have a really small. What is Crisco, Zach? It's just lard, isn't it? Like a shortening or something, right?
Is it the vegetable version?
Yeah. It's the vegetable
Like
version
a
of.
vegetable shortening, right?
Yeah. It's a vegetable shortening, and I have a real small can, and I literally use it just for seasoning my pans. That's all I use it for. So once I clean them, I personally use that. There's some people that like to use different manufacturers of specialized seasoning oils for cast iron pans, and they have their preference on brand. Or some people just use olive oil or whatever, canola oil, whatever. As long as you apply something to it is the way I look at it.
Yeah, I think it depends on what you're cooking too.
Yeah.
Crisco, canola,
One of the big
that type of
myths,
stuff is
one of the
great.
huge myths is that never use soap on it. Man, get over that. Like I use a little soap on mine. Uh, Immediately afterwards, I'll literally not use the scrub side of my pad of my sponge. I use literally a really soft sponge and maybe like a couple of dabs of soap. And I will not super hard though, really lightly, just kind of clean the pan and rinse out immediately. It so that you don't take your seasoning off. You don't want to take that seasoning off the pan.
No, because then it'll start rusting.
Yeah. So that's how I maintain it. Uh, and make sure it's clean. I don't want any sort of bits of food or debris in there in my pan that I can't see, and then it leads to me getting sick cooking with that pan every time I cook, and I don't really know why. You know what I'm saying? So I like to use a little bit of soap. It's perfectly fine as long as you use just like a sponge or even your fingers, like a couple drops in there, and just anything to kind of make sure that it's sanitary. It's the way I look at it. And then just like Neri said, yeah, you can put some oil right back in there and make sure that it's staying. I use Crisco personally is what I use. I'll take a paper towel and that's my last process. I'll just rub some really lightly Crisco on there and then store it away. And that's it till the next time. But the
The
cast
more you
iron,
use them, the better they get.
it's just and I showed somebody recently that was curious about cast iron, and I live streamed with them personally. You have the different apps you can live stream with them personally. Took an egg, cracked it, and plopped it right in the middle of the pan, um and just let the egg settle. Like you have to let the egg cook is the main thing, and
Mhm.
it'll lift off the pan itself. Like you, and I showed him, like I just put it in there. I didn't use a spatula, didn't use any tool whatsoever to cook that egg. and I literally move the pan around like that after a minute or so, and there goes the egg just sliding all over the damn place. Like it just I have my pans are like that now. They just nothing sticks to them. Just
How
nothing
do you like
sticks to them.
your eggs?
Oh, is that?
How do you like to do your eggs?
I'm kind of mixed. Sometimes I'll do them sunny side up,
Yeah.
uh, and sometimes I'll flip them. Most of the time, I like them over medium,
Okay.
uh, or I like to cook them till the yolk is kind of medium, like a lighter medium.
Yeah, I love like a good over easy egg, with my huevos rancheros.
Yeah, yeah.
There's nothing like, or the other day I had, oh, we went to a good place, huevos de Visaditos, I guess, which it's one egg has the like green chili, and then one has the red ranchero sauce on it. And man, it was just fabulous.
Let me
But
get.
I love like a good runny egg. I even put an over easy egg on my BLT sometimes.
Oh, yeah, yeah. And now see for when I ha- when I have them on sandwiches, I like my yolks a little more medium, so that they just have a little bit more of
It's
a
a little easier
concentrated
to eat.
taste. Yeah, and easier to eat. Yeah, exactly. Um, not quite as runny, but and then there's sometimes when I like the presentation, sometimes the egg is more of a visual thing, and so I'll leave them sunny side up,
Yeah.
but I'll cook them slowly on my cast iron, always on cast iron, because you get that crispiness to your egg that you just can't
Mhm.
get, or maybe you can, but it takes differently, Um, but yeah, on the cast iron, and so I'll cook them a little slower so that I'll still get to a medium or a lighter medium, kind of a medium rare, if you will, with an egg, uh, but without flipping it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that way you still I, you get that darker, kind of thicker yolk thing going, man.
I like
It's
like
just so much fun.
a good fried egg and cheese sandwich.
Yep, it's so much fun playing around with food, just like it is with beer. And I'm gonna crack open this Belching Beaver peanut butter latte right now, and I have to take a picture of this one because I'm not sure I've had this one before. Let me see. Let me type this. Uh, Peanut butter latte. I mean, how many peanut butter latte beers can there be? Yeah, only this one. Yep, no logins by me, so uh, I have to get a picture of this one, or I'll get screamed at by oh my God, our friend from Atlanta there. Um, oh
Mark?
my God, no, not more. Sadiq. Oh my God, I forgot his name for a second. Oh, how horrible. So let me show. Wow, another. I didn't realize this beer was that highly rated. Uh, so another highly rated beer. Here we go. So 6,300 ratings, 277 in the last 30 days, 5% ABV, 30 IBUs, and a 404.
Oh, this is going to be like a two drink beer for you.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Let me see. So we got people love our peanut butter milk stout, and and this time we put a fun twist on our classic. Thomas brewed up a milk stout that is golden in color. No wonder it looks so clear. A real sensory trip, and loaded
Triple
with
malt
it
stout. Okay.
coffee and chocolate. So uh, yeah, this will be interesting, man. This will definitely be interesting. So
We're getting ready to brew a pistachio cream ale.
oh, look at that smoke! Eat it, Neri! Yeah, look at that. So here we go, man. Here is the peanut butter latte. I feel like you have to say it like that, latte, right? You know what? With this long step, well, I guess it is still working. It's not working as well. It's taking some more intense tapping on my, what did he call this? Tankard glass here. So let me turn it to the side to kind of get the more of the, let me get my picture done here. Let me see here. There we go. Good. Good photo. Here is the beer. We've got like lots of floaties in the middle there. You see that?
Yeah, a little bit.
That's not carbonation. That's floaties. Now, knowing
So how
me.
old is this one? About 3 years?
Okay, yeah, no, this was actually within this one is it has a BOD, which is born on date, right, of 3/6/18. Boom, we're within reason on this beer, right? Kinda, right? No, we're still there. Ooh, a big sweet peanut butter nose. Big, 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 big. I mean, you don't even have to. You can be this far away, and get peanut butter like crazy on this beer. Wow. It if you okay, the first name in this beer is peanut butter, right? I want peanut butter in this brew, and I'm getting peanut butter on the nose at least. So that's making me happy already.
It's when you guys are down here for Audio Fest or whatever, I'd really like to take you down. It's a little bit further. Oh, you'll be in the tech center, so it's probably about a 20 minute drive from the tech center. I want to take you to this brewery, 105 West. It's down in the Castle Rock area, and they do a beer called D's Nuts.
Oh, nice.
And it is by far the best peanut butter beer I've ever had. I mean,
Okay.
it's just peanut. It's not peanut butter. It's peanuts.
Okay, yeah. Which is different. That is different. This, I'm telling you, okay. No charge. I'm getting different stuff from this. I'm getting a peanut butter. I'm getting a peanut butter. Wow. I'm getting not a peanut. I'm getting peanut butter, right? Just like
super silky smooth.
yeah, and it's I'm getting the lactose. I'm getting the milkiness, that latte-ness, if you will, right? I should go full pinky up on this one because this is like a latte.
You might need your other pinky out just to drink it.
Yeah, so it kind of counterbalance the pinky.
Yeah.
You gotta go too pinky out on this.
You might need a Cosmopolitan or something.
You have to hold a Cosmo while you're drinking this one. Yeah, it's really good. This beer is definitely a four bottle cap beer.
If you mix a Cosmo into that beer, would it be like a peanut butter and jelly?
Huh.
Oh.
That's interesting. This is it smells sweeter. The nose is sweeter than it tastes, which is good because it smells really sweet. The nose is really, really sweet. So it's a little. I was worried going into the sample that it would be too sweet, but it's not. It is sweet, but not overly done. It's well done.
Good. We make a white stout. They're fun beers to make because it's so different. You meet somebody that it looks like a blonde ale.
Yeah.
And then they smell it, and it's just chocolate and coffee. The one we have on tap right now is a white stout that's got coffee and chocolate in it, and then we aged it in a brandy barrel.
Ooh, interesting.
And it's big.
I would recommend this to people I think you hit it on the head there, Zach, because some people are just really intimidated by dark. Like they see dark and that's it for them. They're done. But if they were to see this, you'd for one, they would never guess it's a stout,
No.
right? Um, and it still kind of is a medium bodied beer. It's still very but I love the floaties in there. That is really cool. That's not carbonation, folks. That's in the beer. Um, I love that. It's just full of flavor. It's really smooth. I'd be interested to see what people that swear they don't like stouts because they are black or dark would think of this one.
Yeah.
You, it can be hard to get some people, and I'm not trying to bring sex into it, but typically it is our lady folks out there. Uh, but it's a lot of it's dudes that I talk to too, as well in different bars. Just some people just they see dark and that's it. I I had a conversation last week with some folks, probably no charge, at least half a dozen folks, at least six that were like, yeah, I like dark beers. Literally, this was the conversation. I'm not kidding you. Yeah, I like darker beers, Modelo, and I'm like, oh, you mean Modelo Negro? No, I don't like the Negro. I like the regular Modelo, and I'm like, that's not dark. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, that's not dark. You know what I'm
No.
saying? Yeah, but they're like the lighter beers like Bud Light and all that. I don't really like, and I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, what are you saying? Like,
Right.
do you consider off white black? What are you talking about? Like, what is going on in your head? What are you seeing? You know what I'm saying? So those were very, for me personally, and maybe even for yourself, Zach, those are, I love having those conversations because I want to know what you're seeing. What are you seeing? What are you tasting? You know what I'm saying? And they have very, very, very limited selection of beers at that bar, right? So, uh, it would, and I got the bartender to give different samples, but it's very, very limited sample selection there. But it's interesting to hear what people think of just what I consider common everyday people, everyday beer drinkers that are having a beer at a bar, and to see what they think of as dark beer, which was what I thought of as light beer,
Yeah.
uh, but that was to hear of people talking about Modelo.
Yeah, that's a heavy one there, Jeremy.
That's a dark beer. I'm like, what? So
Yeah, you gotta watch out for them real dark ones,
yeah, so that would be interesting to me. Is to see what people actually thought of this one, because this is what I like about a long stem glass, though. Actually, you can really, if you want to get real snobbery with your beer, you can really get a good look at it and stuff.
I need,
I don't know.
speaking of glassware, I need your opinion on that. Tell me what you think of that glass.
Oh, okay, sure.
It says Pilsner, but I think it makes a decent IPA glass, don't you?
Oh yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah. Um, I have a glass that's similar to that. The old school dogfish head glass is similar to this.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Were you thinking about ordering some of this glassware for like your brewery or what?
Yeah, my wife turns 30 on July 11th, so
Oh yeah,
she,
I think we talked about that. Yeah.
she brewed her own beer. and it's a rose and vanilla IPA. It's real floral.
Hmm.
Um, kind of side note, but she had my brother come up with a whole logo for it and everything. Trying to get the logo. Show you.
So for folks that can see the screen now, this is the glass that Zach's talking about.
I think it's a decent
It it
IPA glass.
it is absolutely. And the reason I mentioned Dogfish Head is because they do some IPAs. And in this glass, I think if you were to cut it right here, would
Yeah.
be the Dogfish Head old school glass, like similar to that. You know what I'm saying? I think the Dogfish Head, yeah, because it has this thick base, but I think if it were to be up here, it would be the Dogfish Head glass, like
Okay.
because this shape is exactly like it right here. And I
Okay.
I think if you picture this base right here without this little this part, I think that's the same style as that Dogfish Head. I like this. This is a nice glass. I would drink out of it. Absolutely. I'd buy one. You wouldn't have to twist my arm too hard.
I'll show you
I
the
like it
thing.
because it's why I like this glass. This is the share beer glass now. It's been called. I think it's a great multi-purpose glass. And it's actually not too different than what you're showing. I think how many ounces is that one that you're
Joe,
16?
how do you do a screen share?
Oh, it's right there on the side. It's the you have the chat on the side, and the next
Okay,
one down is the
I'm
green
gonna share
box.
this real quick
Yeah, go for
so
it.
you can see the logo. Um, all right,
Yeah.
do you see
Oh,
it? So that's gonna be her beer logo.
very cool. I like that. So make it look like a flower, but it's a hop,
Yeah,
and the rose is coming out of the hop. That's cool, man.
yeah, I think it'll be a good logo.
That'd be a nice tattoo, actually.
Yeah. Now I think I turned the screen share off, right?
Yep. Yep.
Okay. First for everything.
Hey, and Google didn't boot you out and send you into Google Hell and all that sort of thing. So,
Right?
uh, yeah, we managed to get that done. No, that's a cool glass, man. So this place makes all different kinds of glassware.
Yeah.
I wonder if they'll just send me glassware without
Um,
any. Well, you know what? If I could come up with a share a beer logo, then I could send that to them and they would make me a share a beer glass.
yeah.
That'd be awesome.
That'd be pretty cool.
How awesome would that be to have an actual official share a beer logoed glass instead of just a generic uh plain glass? It would actually have that is cool, man. Yeah, thanks for sharing that with me. um I keep waiting because I know that there's got to be something here in Phoenix, and I go to so many different companies every day uh, that do so many different cool things, but none of them happen to be glassware or anything that I can kind of use just yet. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I go to so many different cool places, man. I'm just like, wow, this is awesome. Uh, Places that make ingredients for beer I've been to, and that's a treat for someone like myself. That's a real treat. But so anyway, I got into now this last one is a beer I've had, the Settle Down Brown, which browns are definitely one of my favorite styles of beer. I definitely love browns. I haven't logged it yet though. I've had this beer several times. I guess I haven't logged it, but I've had it several times. There's no doubt. And I don't know, Zach, since you're on here, I'll share the screen and I'll talk about the rating and everything really quick here. You got 7,400 total ratings on here, 183 in the last 30 days, 6.5% ABV, 50 IBUs, and a 3.56 rating, a 3.56 bottle cap rating, which is pretty good. It's still, it's drinkable. That's pretty darn average, right? A little bit better than average, but still pretty good. In the winter months, somewhere between work hard and play hard, there's a moment that naturally seems to occur. A moment where you can sit back and relax with a good friend and, well, settle in. It's moments like these that inspire us to create Settle Down Brown. This American Brown has a rich malt flavor with a complex tropical fruit and caramel notes, which makes it a little different. Odell likes to put a little spin on stuff, and sometimes they're good at it, and sometimes they're not. But typically, I think of Odell as kind of a that brewery that kind of likes to make things hoppy and citrusy.
Typically, yeah.
Yeah, typically they're that kind of brewery. This is a seasonal brew for them. Let me see. When did I buy this? This had to be okay. Enjoy by April 19th, 2018. So this one ain't too far out of date. It's out of date, but not too terribly far. You know. Oh, no smoke. Hardly any smoke, rather. So Neri wins on that one. But I like browns. I don't know that browns are ever heck. I expected this kind of foam and head out of the nitro, but I don't know that browns are ever that style of beer that is gonna hit like a four. I don't know that, or even a five for that matter. I don't know that there's ever a brown that you've had in your life, Zach, that is like, damn, that's a good beer. Like, I don't know that you ever get that reaction out of a brown. I think browns are more like, yeah, man, that's solid, right? Like,
Yeah, typically.
like browns aren't necessarily that style. Browns are a sessionable style. They're more of, I think of browns as that sociable style. That
Yeah.
they're the social style, right? Like uh
Yeah.
malty sweet, not a lot of hop in a brown. That's the way I think of browns.
Yeah, I would agree. I mean, it's kind of just that style that you love, but you're like, meh. It's like a pale ale. It's
Well,
like this
pale.
great go to, but is it ever going to blow you away like this crazy IPA or a crazy stout?
Well, you happen to touch on pale ale, though. Pale ale is this. I think of that style of beer as like this huge junk style. It's pale ale to me is pop music, right?
Yeah.
Like pop music is what is pop nowadays. Nowadays, what is pop? Pop. eh, There's country music that has pop music label to sell more records, and you're like,
Yeah.
you listen to, it and you're like, that's country. You listen to some pop, and you're like, that's rock. Like, what are you doing here? What's going on here? You know what I'm saying? You guys are just trying to, and it feels to me like you mentioned a particular style that I have a bone to pick with, because I feel like breweries are getting lazy and they just want to not label their beer the wrong way. Like some people absolutely love IPAs, and so you label something a double IPA or an IPA, citrusy IPA, and they're all over it. And other people, IPA, ooh, that's going to be too strong for me. Pale ale, yeah, I could go with. So they'll label it a pale ale and you drink it like Dale's pale ale, for Christ's sake. Is that really a I mean, come on, that's gotta be a hoppier,
Yeah.
you know. It's like pale ale. Some pale ales you drink and you're like, dude, this is the hoppiest pale ale I've ever had in my life. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's just like this big versus a brown. Well, I think when a brewery gets down to labeling something a brown, it's probably a brown. It, you know what I'm saying? It's more than likely just this really like, there's not too much of a variant in a brown, you know.
Um,
Yeah,
I
this
mean,
one's
I
pretty.
like the. Have you had the Surly Coffee Bender? Though any of those ones that Surly does, the benders, because they've got a couple of different ones.
Uh-huh.
Those ones are really good because they do some variants.
Now, see this. This is exactly what we talked about. Odell. Okay, certain breweries, just like myself as a photographer or anybody, any other artist, breweries are the same way. Breweries, you know, your brewery, Zach, has its style. Any artist or anybody that creates something, or any creative, whether it be you create music, you create art, you create beer, you create food, you all have your different style, right? Uh, Odell's style is hop, right? And so you're getting, even though it's a brown, you're getting there's hop in there, right?
Yeah,
Um, yeah, because in a brown, I expect it to be a lot more malty than
yeah,
this.
and that's the thing. Do you like your brown hoppy, or do you like it more malty? I mean,
Right,
it depends on how you like
right.
your brown. I know, like the upslip brown. It's a little bit of a hoppier brown. Um, then there's others that are the Surly is really malty, more coffee forward. Um, we do a oatmeal brown.
Ooh, yeah,
Yeah, I like it. It's real kind of deeper and viscous. It's a little darker.
yeah. An oatmeal to me is fine in a brown. We're talking just browns, but I don't like too much hop in my brown. This is enough.
I think it's a little hoppy.
Yeah, for a brown, right? Like
Yeah,
this is as high as I'd want to get in a brown. Like if I don't know, let's say I have to have, for some reason, I'm sitting down and I have to have 5 brown ales. I'm probably not going to have this again. Like,
no,
you know what I'm saying? If this is my first brown and I have to have 5, I'm probably not going to have this one again. You know, but if
yeah,
it were a coffee like you just described, or an oatmeal, something like that would be perfectly fine. Probably going to have at least 2 of those. But a hop forward brown, not so much. Not in a brown. You know what I'm saying?
yeah. No, I'm the same way. And there's other people that they want to make a big hoppy brown, and it's kind of the same thing. I mean, how many red ales do you drink anymore?
Oh,
Because see, when I drink a red ale, I want it to be kind of malty,
yeah, yeah.
smooth, something, but 20 IBUs or something. And now you're getting these ones, and all it is a malty IPA.
That's I read. You know what? You mentioned it, and I have to 100% agree with you. Red anymore is you don't know what you're going to get in a red. You
Yeah,
You just don't. Red is another, to me, a pale ale. Like
Yeah,
you, it,
agreed.
when something is labeled pale. Hey, sweetheart, how you doing? How'd the lemonade stand go?
Good.
Good. Are you making different variants of lemonade? Is it just standard lemonade?
Strawberry lemonade or something. She said she nodded yes. But
Yeah, but reds are another generic. They've gotten way away from what they truly are. I feel like reds
yeah,
are, and it's a shame because when you sat down to have a red, like you said, you wanted to have a good malty beer. You sat down for a specific experience with a red ale. Sours are kind of fun. Sours have gotten away from years ago. If you were getting a sour beer, it had to be cherry, and it was just going to be some sort of variant on a cherry sour beer. Like that was all we could do.
yeah. No, definitely.
And now sours are a lot of fun. Heck, I think I spent a lot of time at GABF just sampling different sours. Had a
Yeah,
lot of fun with sours.
yeah, that's true. Well, cool, Joe. I got to get going and get
Okay,
these
man.
kids out selling lemonade or something.
Okay. Good luck with your lemonade, sweetheart. We'll see
I'll
you.
see you. I mean, it's Chain Reaction's 4th anniversary tomorrow, so
That's right.
I
I
may,
seen your things
I
on
may pop
Instagram.
in on the show through that, but maybe I'll pop in tomorrow. So
That'd be awesome. All right, Zach.
have
We'll
a good
see you,
one.
brother. Right on. Cool. So, man, we spent a lot of time. I haven't had Zach all to myself for that long in a wow, an incredibly long time. That's a huge treat. Zach is a co-owner of Chain Reaction Brewing in Denver. Really good friend of the show. We've been with Zach now for years, all through his before he was even a before he owned a brewery. He was still a beer blogger, a beer journalist. Um, and he was creating some really good homebrew and was going through the process of starting his own brewery. So, man, Zach is a really good friend of the show. Um, Great to have him on for that long. That was incredible. I'm still sampling these couple of beers. I'll be on till I finish them. The Modern Times, this Black House from Modern Times was phenomenal. Let me tell you, if you want a coffee stout, okay, nitroed coffee stout, and this one, mind you, was over a year old when I cracked it open. So I would imagine a fresher one would still have that big, hopefully a big coconut. I didn't get any in this one. But I'm assuming that it was because it was over a year old, and maybe the coconut just left us. The coconut was no longer with us. But the coffee definitely was. It was 75% Ethiopian, 25% Sumatran coffee went into the coffee portion of this beer. And then they had God, one, two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight. Eight different malts went into this brew as well. So a phenomenal brew. It was really good. This which one was this? This was the Belching Beaver, which is quickly turned into I personally discovered this brewery on my personal discovery sort of thing. The brewery's been around for a while, but I found them maybe a year ago, 2 years ago, and have fallen in love. Fallen in love. There's things that we kind of really embellish on, right? Like I really love Belching Beaver. I love what they do. I love the experimentation that they do. This beer is incredible. You get tons of peanut butter in here for one. And I mean peanut butter, not peanuts per se. Of course, peanut butter is peanut made from peanuts, but this one's more of that sweet peanut butter sort of taste, if you can know the difference. Zach was deciphering between a peanut beer and a peanut butter beer, right? Kind of the differences we make when we start talking pumpkin beers. Do you want a beer uh, that has more of a raw pumpkin? Do we consider pumpkin a fruit? Have we had that discussion? But more of that fruity. I'm gonna call it a fruit. So if you think of it as a vegetable, then let me know. Put it in the chat. I'm gonna call it a fruit. Okay. So if you want more of that pumpkin, natural pumpkin taste, or do you want more of a pumpkin pie, like a seasoned pumpkin taste, pumpkin sweet pie taste, right? I think peanut butter beers are going into their own category as well. So do you want more of a peanut taste or more of a actual sweetened seasoned? Is peanut butter seasoned? I think so. Peanut butter seasoned taste. And peanut butter isn't for everybody. Here in America, peanut butter is a big deal, right? But there's other countries in the world that have no idea what the hell a peanut butter is. Like, what in the hell are you doing to peanut butter? Like, what in the hell are you doing to peanuts that you made butter out of them? Like, you know. But I think other countries nowadays have a general idea what peanut butter is. You have other nuts that people are making butters out of, right? Nutella is one of them, right? That's a big one, I think, that's around the country. Um, but this one is definitely more of a sweet peanut butter nose, but it doesn't translate into the beer per se. It's light. It's a stout. It's a white stout, more of a light stout, which is very, very interesting to me. I love that because I personally have tried to get people to try different stouts because I tell them they have more flavors. And in conversation with these people, they have expressed to me that they would be interested in something like that. But just seeing the dark color of a stout can be very intimidating to some people, especially when you're used to a beer that looks like that. So to have a beer that looks like this color, right? Lighter, um, but to have it have all the flavor of a stout um, is I think a game changer for a lot of folks. Mm. And what I absolutely love about beer, um, I'm glad that he put the tankard. I'm glad he put that in there. Toxic Fan is the one that put that in there for me because I had forgot the name of this glass. Tom knows the name of the glass, but he's not in here. Mm. Ah, that was so good. What was that beer rated at? I would probably give it a similar rating. Let me see what that beer was rated at. A 4.04 bottle cap rating. Really, really, really good. That was a solid beer. Now, this brown, if you know, like me and Zach were talking about, I mean, Odell puts hops around the sides of their bottle. Their label is a hop. Odell label is a hop. Oh, okay. So Earth says that Belching Beaver Hello Beautiful was an awesome brown, but it was loaded with great adjuncts. Oh, okay. And Earth also says it's a Tiku glass. Tiku. Yeah, yeah. And then Hans says that I heard it's very hot in Arizona, bro. Let me show you how hot it is here in Arizona. Uh, uh, Fortunately for me, Hans, I am in a temperature controlled environment. So there's no sweat coming off my brow right now. Now, yesterday, this time, I was knee deep in it, right? And I have to wear a uniform at work, button down uniform, button down shirt, and I wear an undershirt, which is typically just a t-shirt. When I take that t-shirt, when I take my button shirt off at the end of my day, my shirt is just white because of all the sweat that I've, you know, emitted during the day. It's pretty crazy. Um, I know there's a lot of debate over, humidity and no humidity, but this kind of heat is dangerous, my friend. This kind of heat will kill you. And so, heat and humidity as well will kill you. Um, but this will lead to heat stroke, and you won't even know it's on you. I mean, before you know it, you are in heat stroke here because you can't necessarily always feel that you're sweating because it's so dry. You feel me? Um, the dryness is a problem, right? Whereas when you're in a humid environment and you haven't been drier for a while, you've just been sweating, 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 you kind of naturally get the sense you're too clammy, all these sorts of things. You start to get the sense that you might have heat exhaustion, right? Which is extremely dangerous as well. But heat exhaustion leads to heat stroke. It can lead to heat stroke. Here, you just go right to heat stroke. You feel me? Which is incredibly dangerous, and just can kill you. So there's days when you know, you're just drinking all the water you can. They tell you to drink. How much is it? I forget how many ounces every 15 minutes. They tell you to keep drinking. Drink, 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 drink water constantly. There's hardly a place you can go to here. And I'm just talking regular businesses. I'm a pickup and delivery driver here in Phoenix. So I'm in the heat all day. And I'm running around into different businesses and doing this and that and in the heat all day. And there's hardly a business I can go into with my water bottle. I carry a different containers with me to store water. There's hardly a business I can go into that won't just that don't already have water bottles or don't at least have a bottle refill station in them. I mean, some sort of way to get water. And there's hardly anybody that would deny you water here. It's an absolute must. But let me show you. Yeah, yeah. That was my original point. Duh. Um, Let me show you the weather here in Phoenix. What I'm typing it in here. I'll show you as I type it in, just so you don't think I'm making something up. But the weather in Phoenix here. So it's 42 degrees Celsius for those that go by Celsius. Excessive heat warning in central Arizona. You can see our low is 28. Uh, you know, and then it goes down, I think, in the next couple of days, and then right back up. We'll be at a 43. It's supposed to be the high is supposed to be 43, so it's going to go up one more degree here, and this is all in Celsius. Um, you can see it's going to go right back up. So it goes down a little bit, but right back up again. For those of us here in America, it's 108 right now. It's supposed to be 110. My high in my part of Phoenix is 111. So it's even 1 degree, sometimes even 2 degrees higher where I live here in Phoenix. My particular part of Phoenix. Um, but you can see the humidity is extremely low here, 6% humidity, zero precipitation. And I mean, that's forever. I think it rained here a couple of days ago. And before that, and I didn't even get to see it rain because I think it rained at night. So I didn't even get to see it rain. It rained and I woke up and I think the ground was still wet and that was about it. You know what I'm saying? So I didn't get to see the rain. There's just the constant excessive heat warning. Not just a heat warning, not just all the other heat warning, an excessive heat warning. And with this comes health warnings. You get all these different air quality warnings, all these sorts of things comes with dry air. So yeah, it's dry. And mind you, when it's in the 80s and when it's in the 90s, you appreciate the dryness. Sure, absolutely, because it's fantastic. I mean, it's the best. Yeah, would I rather have it 81 and 6% humidity or 81 and 81% humidity? I'd rather have the 6%. Yeah, there's no denying. But once it starts getting 110 or above, man, it's flat miserable. It's, I mean, not miserable. It's not completely miserable till it hits 120. Once it hits 115, 117, 120, 121, then it's miserable. It's, but it's part of living. Our dear friend Andrew is in the chat now, and it's Minnesota here. It's just the opposite. He lives in an extreme environment. Minnesota is extreme cold here in America, at least. It's extreme cold, and Phoenix is the opposite. It's extreme heat, and you prepare yourself for the heat all year. All year, you talk about the heat like it's that hot. And when you go up there to Minnesota, central Minnesota, northern Minnesota, those people talk about the winter all year long. Like you prepare yourself for the winter, because it's cold. I personally think that extreme cold is worse. It causes a lot of crazy unnatural things to happen. I think more so than the extreme heat. The extreme heat causes crazy things to happen. I personally think the extreme cold is just stupid. It's just like, oh my God, you got to be kidding me. Like, who would guess that it gets so cold that when you take a breath, your lungs burn? Like, come on. I didn't know that until I was in it one year. You know what I'm saying? Like, who? And you never forget it. I never, ever forget that winter in central Minnesota. I didn't even go farther north that year. I was in central Minnesota. Good enough for me, man. Done, son. Much respect for Minnesota, right? I think the extreme heat, well, at least the heat that we have here in Phoenix is more tolerable. Um, as far as extremes, I would rather be in extreme heat than extreme cold. Uh, because once it cools off here, man, it is flipping paradise. I mean, it's fantastic. You know what I'm saying? When it's not, even if it's 100 here, it's nice. It's not because it is dry. Absolutely, that makes it nice. When it's in the 90s, it's It's and in the 80s, it's forget about it. It's the best. I love it. But yeah, once it starts 110 is what you'll hear about around here, like the real heat. That's the real heat. Um, I've heard it many, many, many times now. Living in Arizona now for July next month, July 20th is 4 years for me in Arizona. Let me cover these comments real quick. We have Andrew in there. Hi all, just saying hello, everyone. I am cutting out just as fast. Need to bring mom to a doctor appointment. Yeah, and he says, been there, done that with the heat stroke. And I have had the T-shirt. Did this once back in the in he must be once in his personal early 20s. Not so good. Yeah, because he said back in the early 20s. he was far from being a scratch in his daddy's junk, if you know what I'm saying. At that point, so I'm still enjoying the last of my settle down brown, which is a good brown. It's a good brown as long as you realize that Odell is a hop, uh, and more of a citrusy hop. Not, I guess not so much a citrusy, but they're a hop forward brewery. Their style is hop. They definitely like stuff hoppier. Good. It's good. It's just once you realize you're buying something from Odell and okay, it's a brown from Odell. It's probably hoppy. Let me see what their spin on a brown would be, an everyday malty brown. So when you see a brown that's 50 IBUs from Odell, you're like, okay, there's going to be some hop in there because a brown should be as high as a 30, and that's about it. Maybe a 35, but not much more than that. So one that's hitting 50 is going to surpass the balance of, you know, a brown, the highest I would think would be a 35, so that you still have that, nice little hop in there to kind of balance things out, but still keep the malts a little higher. Having a brown in the 50s is kind of still putting that balance of hops just a little bit higher than the malts, which would typically keep it a little sweeter, you know. But it's still good. I still like it. I still buy it occasionally. You just know that going in. I like and respect Odell Brewing Company. They're a very solid brewing company, and Belching Beaver is definitely another. Belching Beaver and Modern Times. I really like both those breweries. I'm putting the bottle and the can together over there, because they need a little privacy over there, off camera. I'm not showing them together because, they're mingling, getting acquainted over there. But they are two of the breweries that I've personally discovered recently, and really have come to love. I mean, and I can say love because I do love those two breweries. I really respect what Modern Times and what Belching Beaver are doing. So I do follow each one of them on different social networks to kind of keep up with what they're doing, what they're creating. Uh, and it also helps me too when I can kind of favorite. Instagram is a big one, so then I'll kind of favorite some of their posts. So when I'm at my favorite beer store, I can draw back on those favorites and then hopefully pull up one of their fancy new beers as I'm shopping. Doesn't always work out like that, but that's the plan, right? You have to have a plan. Anyway, folks, I'm gonna try to finish this beer quickly because I do have some Friday routines that I have um, that I like to do. They're not things that I have to do, but they're things that I enjoy doing, uh, which is being social with real folks at a bar. Quite frankly. So, uh, if you're in Phoenix and it happens to be on a Friday during a happy hour, man, hit me up, man, and we can actually hang out at a bar and share a beer, man. There's some folks here in the actual chat that have had the opportunity to share a real beer in person with me, and I can't speak for them, but I can speak for myself. It's a lot of fun. Um, I have happened to be in different bars here, not just in Albuquerque, not just in Phoenix, but in other places as well, and run into fans. And it's fantastic, man. It's great. So if you are in the Phoenix area and it's a Friday and it happens to be happy hour, man, hit me up, man, because I'm probably sharing a few, having a few real beers somewhere. So because I do enjoy the conversation. I enjoy listening to people asking questions and talking about beer and other things in life, and finding out what you enjoy. There's a lot of things happening right now in the food world, and like we talked about for a little while. Um, Matter of fact, let me show you, because if anybody else is even remotely interested in, even if you're a home theater dude, this is where we'll be at that first weekend in October. That's October 5th through October 7th. It's the first weekend in October, Denver, Colorado. Mountain Audio Fest. Now, like me and Mark told you, probably going to go, I think, to Saturday, and not, I don't, maybe it will end up being all day. I don't picture myself being there all day. I picture myself being there 4 or 5, maybe even 6 hours. Seems like a long time. Maybe it goes by fast. I don't know. I've never been to an audio fest before, so I don't know what to expect. I'm anticipating it being a lot like GABF, kind of being there for after 4 hour session at GABF. I was done. I was like, could not. As a matter of fact, I know me and Tom. I think I can speak for Tom. Me and Tom were sitting there that last 40 minutes, and we were just sitting there. I was done. I could not sample even another 1 or 2 ounce sample of beer, period. I was full beyond belief. Like, I was done. um I just wanted to grab a pint somewhere and sit and talk. Like, I, I, I had not been to a beer fest that big and ever. It was my first time being to a beer fest that big. It was a crazy amount of fun. It was a great experience, but I don't feel the need to do that again if I went. And I'm going to be in Denver that first week in October. I just want to like hang out in some breweries and some bars and just have some beers with some people and talk, have conversations. I think that Audio Fest is great for that. You can go do something for that day, hear some great music, hear some great audio. I can learn something personally because I am just now getting back. In my early 20s, I had that audio bug. I guess late teens, early 20s, into my early 20s. I had acquired that audio bug. And then it goes away because you start a family and you do all those things. And but then once you get your life back, you get a little older and the kids are out, and now you get your life back, and more importantly, your money. Like, you get more of your money back. You're in that situation. You find yourself like me and you get divorced, and now you really got your money back. In any case, um, you can get back into some of these things that you enjoyed before, years and years and years. You're like, whoa, that was a long time ago. But um it's been fun to listen to music again and to do these sorts of things. And so I would love. I'm looking forward to going to an audio fest and learning about different things that I don't even know about right now. Just like with beer, when I first started reviewing beer, didn't really know what I was doing. Still don't know what I'm doing. I'm just kind of sampling a beer and giving my opinion on it. I feel like that part hasn't changed. I can give a little bit better opinion on as far as like a little more in depth, but I still don't really know what I'm doing. I still don't feel like I know what I'm doing, at least. Um, but it's fun. Let me see. Hans says it feels like so, and let me get to what Hans says in a second. But I'm looking forward to, now that I'm getting back into audio, and I'm more into the audio than the home theater. I do have the setup like Zach was saying. I do happen to have a full what would it be, a seven? It would be a 7.1.4, I think is the right way to describe it. Um, I'm not. That's what I'm saying. Like I still don't know certain things about it, but with just my audio listing, which is just just two channel audio, that's what I really enjoy. I really enjoy just listening to lossless music. Um, I do stream lossless music, in my home system here. Not I don't stream lossless over the internet. I stream it privately here in my house. So in my home network rather. So um, I have my own server and those sorts of things, and so I do get a decent uh, high quality stream, and you can hear the difference between the 320 stream and something streamed at almost a full gig. It's insane, the difference. It really is, how much more stuff you can hear. So I'm looking, me personally, these are my things that I'm looking forward to. um, I'm looking forward to going to an event like this where I can hear uh, high-end audio that costs hundreds of thousands of dollars, and seeing if I can hear a difference for one. And if I can hear a difference, what am I hearing in similar music? So I try to listen to a wide variety of music, as long as it's not country. Okay, I am not even joking. I don't listen to country. I can appreciate some decent country music because my grandma listened to a few songs, or that sort of situation, right? Someone I knew that I loved and no longer with us listened to this or to that. And so I can appreciate certain songs for those reasons. Personally, I don't listen to country, so you can criticize me on that. That's perfectly fine. I welcome all criticism. But I try to listen to classical. I try to listen to all different types of jazz, all different types of pop, all different types of rock. As much as I've made a full attempt to try to listen to death metal, it's just not happening. I mean, I've tried. Okay, no. Okay, no. Um, but your different instrument based sorts of music, absolutely, I love that stuff. Whether different types of classical and all that sorts of stuff, I dig those sorts of things. I can appreciate uh and Mark sent me a video, and I watched the better part of that video. I didn't watch the whole thing, but I watched the better part of it, and I appreciate what that one cat was saying. That everything and try to wrap your head around this for a minute, okay? This guy said everything we listen to is actually mono. and you first hear that and you're like, "Yeah, to your skull, son." Like, but when you think about what he's saying, he makes a great point. Everything we listen to comes from one object or device, right? Like, um, outside of a movie theater or something like that, right? If you're just walking outside and you hear a cat scream, well, that cat came from over there, but it's just one cat screaming. Or you hear a car racing across the street. Well, it's one car making a noise. It's an, you know what I'm saying? And it went like that. And what we're trying to do with the stereo is duplicate that sound going from here to there. You know what I'm saying? From here to there. So, when you get down to that basics of stuff, it's pretty interesting, to think about something like that. So when you hear a clarinet, like you're only hearing that one clarinet playing at that one time, or you're hearing multiple clarinets, but they all have their particular spot. And can I hear that? You know what I'm saying? And so it's interesting. Um, you know what speakers can produce what sounds, and how close is that sound to the actual real sound that I was hearing, because that's what matters. You're hearing, so even right now, me speaking, you're hearing uh, something different than I hear, right? My voice to me sounds different than my voice to you, right? It's just crazy. It's just pretty cool. So just like I say with beer, let me know your opinion, because your opinion matters. Like, we're both drinking the same beer made by the same company at the same time, same batch, but we'll get something in some cases completely different. So all that is interesting to me. It's very interesting. And it just adds to a conversation that we could have over a beer. And to me, that makes going to an audio fest like this in a place like Denver incredibly special, because you get to sit down at the end of a day of listening to some great music, possibly some great music, over some of the best audio equipment that we offer right now in this world. Um, and talk about it over some of the best beers you could have. Like, and it would just add to the whole environment and the conversation. It would be fantastic. Let me get to what Hans was talking, and then I'll close this out, and we'll see you tomorrow. Uh, I I have got tons to talk about. Trust me. If you think that was something, you should see what I actually have planned to talk about. Um, but Han says it feels like 100 degrees in Miami now because the humidity is pretty high here. Yeah, and I can see that absolutely. The feels like temperature can get pretty darn high. Um, Problem is, it actually is hotter than that here. So even your feels like temperature was our low. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's the feels like temperature here is is what it actually is. It's 110, 111. I look at my watch because my watch has the temperature on it. So it not only has the time, but it has the temperature. And yeah, right now my watch says 111. So, and it's 150. I've been in conversations with my daughter who lives in the South, and I've showed her, it's 8:30 at night, and it's 108. You know what I'm saying? So just to give people some perspective, your high maybe your high for a little bit, and then it creeps down really quickly, versus it's 111. Like, think of how long it takes to get down from a temperature like that. I promise you, at close to 9 o'clock, maybe not right at 9, but close to 9 o'clock, it's still 100 degrees. Wrap your head around that. You know what I'm saying? Like, and we're not even as hot as it will be. It's going to get hotter here where it just doesn't go below 100. Like it's when you hit your high, think about that as like that's all day. Like that's all day all night. Like it's you could wake up at midnight and open your back door, your slider door, however you open, go to your backyard and chill. If you were having a sleepless night and you're just gonna have a glass of water on your back patio, if you will, and you open that door and it's still like ooh, like it's opening the oven. You feel me? Like it's different here. And then you think you're having that sleepless night, so you're gonna sit on your typically metal furniture, your metal or wood patio furniture, and it's hotter than hell. If you don't take a towel or something to sit on, like you're gonna burn yourself still, and it's midnight. Like it's different, man. It's different here. You know what I'm saying? It's extreme. Hey, we have Bum in the chat. He says, "Hey Joe, been watching off and on for the last hour, but too busy to join in today. See you tomorrow night." Yeah, absolutely, man. Again, guys, I'm done here. Mm. Ah. Again, that was the Settle Down Brown. That was the one I just finished. The other one I had, Belching Beaver Peanut Butter Latte, right? And the Black House from Modern Times Beer. Um, all three of those are really good. The Settle Down Brown was definitely the lower of the three, but it's not. It was rated at a 3.5, I believe. Wow, a lot of burping right there. But I would definitely give it that rating. I would definitely agree with that rating. The peanut butter latte was rated at a 4.04 bottle cap rating. 404. Gotta love that rate. I love that, right? I love that as much as ESPN analysts love to say someone ran a 404, right? 444, right? They just when you hear the ESPN, the guys on the sports analysis, people talking about how fast someone runs, don't they say it like 100 times? Because it's a great number. It's great to say a 444 or 4440, right? They love to say that. It's fantastic. The Modern Times was also, I think, right at a 4. I think it was a 3.9 something. Uh, oh, we have Cregan 25. Cregan. Cregan. I like that. Multiple E's in that name. I like that. Cregan, Joe D in the house. Bam. What? I like when people like make the words like they sound, like you would say them, right? You know what I'm saying? I think that's fun. It adds character to it, right? I try to pick up on those little things, right? Exclamation points and all those sorts of things. I'm a Seinfeld fan. You know, exclamation points were made a big deal in Seinfeld. You know, I like I try to accentuate. Plus, I had a mother. Let me tell you about my mother. You guys have seen my mother in the chat. You guys have seen my mother. She's been in the chat plenty of times. My mother is that type of mother. Like, see my mouth, how it's moving? My mother would be like, sound it out, Joe. I mean, she always called me Joey. Sound it out, Joey. Like, and she would make you read to her, right? And my mom was that person. That she was that mother. You know, she made you pronounce things the way they were the way they read. She didn't like you to well, what do you call it? Go off the cuff, if you will, or give things nicknames. That's not fair because we're big on nicknames. I have a hard time, as a matter of fact. I always have to give something a shorter name, like myself, Joseph, and that's hard. Joe, Joey, Joe D, whatever. Something it's too proper. Joseph is pinky out, isn't it? Like, you know. So yeah, that's uh, it's kind of like well, see, Hans is perfect, dude. Hans is the perfect name. If your name is Hans, that's like built in. Like that's perfect. Hans is the perfect name for me because it's 4 letters and that's boom, done, right? But anyway, that was my mom. My mom has that built into me, so when I see things like that, I kind of because my mom would make me read to her. My mom was really cool. But yeah, that was her thing, was to make me read to her. She wanted to make sure uh, not only that, of course you could read and you could read well or great in her opinion, but she wanted to hear how you interpreted those words, how you sounded. It was very important to her how you sounded, right? So um which is great now because look what I do, right? Boom. So when it comes to something like that, that's what happens in my skull. It's like way back here somewhere. It's burned in that far, which is a lot of space because I have a large head. So it burned in way back there. You know what I'm saying? So when I see something like that, I'm like, what? You know what I'm saying? It's just kind of natural, man. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like, what? You know what I'm saying? Like that, man. You know what I'm saying? So it's great. Anyway, man, I'm gonna save some energy for tomorrow. We're here 7 p.m. Eastern Saturday, which is tomorrow, man. And trust me, boom, we got tons of stuff to talk about. If the conversation is short at the bar today for happy hour, then I might get on again. You never know, man. Um, I would look for these little pop-up shows on Friday, especially. I'm super reluctant, like I say, to make a set day and a set Friday show again, just because I have personally other things that I enjoy doing in my personal life. Like hanging out somewhere. I've kind of enjoyed doing that. So maybe some might be upset with me for that. I don't know, but I mean, there's actual things that I like to do. You know what I'm saying? So please don't be mad at me for doing actual things. You know what I'm saying? So I can't have. I guess you could have 100% of your life online, but uh, I try to have an online life as well as life offline, which is kind of cool. That's not always recorded for, ever. So, um, I would love to somehow fit Seinfeld into my uh, shows one time. That would be kind of cool. Like to have a Seinfeld focused share a beer show would be fun, don't you think? Is there enough Seinfeld fanatics out there? Yeah, Bum says, "How dare you have a life away from the internet? Like, how dare you? What are you crazy?" Like, yeah, that's sometimes. You know what? I've actually been pulling back. I don't mind. You know what's hilarious is I don't mind doing this as much anymore as I do posting on Instagram. All of a sudden, in the last month or two, I've really been like posting anymore is like, for what? What am I doing? You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. And I used to do a lot of reviews and stuff. I don't mind beer reviews. But I mean, I was starting to be like, oh yeah, I got to do an open box on this because someone might get something out of it, and or I had all these reasons for doing these things, and 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 then I got some kind of crazy emails, quite frankly, and then I was like, you know what? Do I really need to be doing this many open boxes and reviews of all this different stuff? You know? So then I stopped doing them as much, as much. Because it's kind of like, I don't know. I just stopped doing it as much. So, but the beer reviews, I need to do more of, right? But all the other stuff, I just kind of, I feel like someone's making a tally of like all this stuff, and and they're like, well, yeah, maybe I shouldn't. Maybe that ain't the smartest thing. So I pulled back on some of that stuff. But other things that would bring us together, actually, like this show, the share a beer shows, actually having share a beer events where we actually get to see each other in person, I think is fantastic. um, Events like the Rocky Mountain Audio Fest, which was Mark's idea, and I'm completely behind it. I think that's fantastic. Which is actually, now that I'm looking at it, Zach was right. It's at the Denver Marriott Tech Center on 4900 South Syracuse Street in Denver, Colorado. So, in case you're wondering where it's at in Denver, you're going to hear about that a lot from me because I'm definitely planning on going. I almost even bought my plane tickets this week to go there, but I will be buying them soon. Because you don't have to twist my arm too hard to get to Denver. Denver, I feel like, is a cheap place to fly to. It's not as crazy expensive. It's not a crazy expensive place to stay in, and it's easy to travel there with their rail system. Their rail system was really easy to get around in. I didn't rent a car last time I went. Um, I was totally reliant on their rail system. I don't. I'm trying to think really before I speak. Okay, the only Uber I rented was to go from the hotel back to the airport, and it was only because it was just a little too early for the train. The train uh, at where I was staying wasn't going to go there soon enough. So I caught an Uber, and it was, I don't know, $30 or something. And I mean, oh my God, I had the best conversation with my Uber driver. Oh my God, she was great. Oh man, so intriguing. Got me thinking about stuff that I never would have thought about. And so now there's another place in the world that I have to visit. Um, I mean, another place that I want to go to and visit uh, because of that conversation. It was a great conversation on the way to the airport. So you just never know, right? So everything is like an opportunity, man. Like it happens for a reason, good or bad. Some of the horrible things that happened to me when I first moved here to Phoenix, and it's not Phoenix specific, it's just things that were happening in my life that carried over when I moved here to Phoenix. Uh, they happen for a reason, and they are making me what I am now. And which is, I don't know, in some people's mind, good or bad, who knows? I don't know. Um, but I'm out of here, folks. We'll see you, man. Like I said, if you're here in Phoenix and it happens to be happy hour ish time on a Friday, man, holla, because we will have a beer, man. I'm telling you. Okay, man. Peace out. Bum Cregan. Hans, Andrew, Earth. Man, we had actually a few people in there. We had Tom earlier. Um, we had Kenny. I think Craig was even in the chat earlier from across the pond there. So we had quite a few people in there, man. I appreciate everyone's support. Yeah, I even had one of my primos, man, my cousin. Said she was going to start watching too. She had messaged me yesterday, said she was going to start watching. So, pretty cool, man. I'm getting more and more. I have one of my great aunties I found out that watches, and I didn't even know it. One of my great aunties, man. She's I guess I shouldn't tell her age, but I mean she's my great auntie. Hint at age there. Okay, because you know what I'm saying? And she watches, man. So that's cool. You know what I'm saying? And she don't even drink. So that's awesome, man. Of course she's just supporting her nephew, but it's cool when even your family starts watching, man. So I do appreciate it. I have another cousin. I'll get his name for you because if he talks about something that is interesting to you, then that's cool. I've watched him a few times. I have another cousin, one of my cousins, that also, I don't know if he's not beer centered. He's centered on something else for sure, and it definitely would be hot topic for some people or not. Um, but one of these days, I'll put his name out there for you guys, and you guys can check out. He's my cousin uh, on my Italian side, and he's definitely. I think that's where I get my from my Italian side. Um, well, I guess all sides really, but uh, if you ever tuned into him, you would definitely know. Oh, yeah, they're related somehow. They don't shut up. So you would be like, even if you don't like his topics, you would definitely be like, you know what? That guy don't shut up. Either they are related, man. That guy could talk forever. Like, you know what I'm saying? So you would definitely see where that comes from, man. But yeah, I'll have to make sure that it's cool with him, um, and then and then I'll put his name out there, and then you guys can check him out too, man. And yeah, he's pretty popular too in his field, right? So and that would be cool to share the love, man, in there with my cousin as well. That you get to check him out if you want. All right, guys, we'll see you, man. Oh, World Cup. Dude, we have to talk World Cup tomorrow. We have a lot of crap to talk about tomorrow. Tomorrow's show might go long. Just a fair warning. We got a lot to talk about. World Cup's going to be a big one, though, because there's a lot there. Think about it. We'll see you guys, man. Peace out. Oh, where's the button? Where did my mouse go? My mouse disappeared on me. Oh, it's on the other screen. There it is. I'm bringing it back. There it is.